What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next we've got a huge unboxing here. We've got, there's 5 different packages, and 2 of them are actually from CGC. One of them, I got a really interesting message from CGC as this one was being graded. So looking forward to seeing how that book turned out. Let's check these out. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So like you saw in the intro, I've got 5 boxes, quite a few books, a mix of raw books, graded books, 2 boxes that I got back from CGC. One of those was a restoration removal. The other one was a normal grading. It was a high value tier grading. So I'm going to start with this one here. This is actually, I think, because I took all the labels off, so I'm pretty sure that this is one from A1 Comics. So if you don't follow A1 Comics, they're on Instagram. They have live sales on Instagram multiple times a week, it seems like. And every once in a while they have like some Golden Age stuff, and so I always go in there and check that out. And I'm pretty sure this is the A1 box. But I always just like to see that. Sometimes they have some cool stuff that I'm interested in, and so I end up buying from them every once in a while. And this one, I had just, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is A1. Yeah, so this one I had just popped on, and I saw this book up there. I think someone else had asked about it, and then they ended up not, kind of moving forward with it, and so I ended up claiming it. And it's a book I've never owned before. Toss this over here. So it's inside like a bag and everything. Now they said it was complete. They had it graded as a 1.0. I'm gonna try to get it out of this bag without too much difficulty here. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is a cool book. These are tough books to come by, and it's a pretty great cover. So this is World's Finest Comics #2. And so, like I said, they had it as I don't think they had any notes with it. Oh yeah, here they go. They always have some like grading notes on the back. So you can see what's going on here. So it says complete cover reattached with tape above inside spine, 2 pieces of tape on spine, supple off-white to white pages, tiny something out of a few page corners. So probably like tiny small, chips out of a few pages corners. So we can actually see that down in the bottom here. That's probably what they're referring to, but I mean, that's a pretty nice looking copy. I mean, if it's complete, and yeah, I mean, detached cover, yeah, I mean, there's the front, and that's one of the nice things about these like lower grade copies. I don't really mind holding them. It's the front, that's the back. Yeah, I see the tape there that was used to reattach it, but I bet it could do better than a 1.0. I mean, so that the World's Finest 3 that I had picked up before was also from A1. So I bought their 3 and I bought their 2. I think they were probably both from this like winter's collection that they had bought. But I mean, that's pretty cool. I might end up getting this one graded just to. I mean, I feel like this book is worthwhile to get graded. I mean, this is a great cover. I mean, one of the challenges or issues, I guess I'd say, with a lot of the World's Finest covers is a lot of them are really campy. I've talked about that before, where it's like they're just really like kind of like goofy, silly type covers where, they're riding around on bikes, or they're working in a vegetable field, or, going swimming in a pond, or, things like that. There are some that aren't, though. There are some, non-campy covers, and this is definitely one of them. I mean, #2, this is a great cover with Batman, Robin, and Superman on the front. So, yeah, cool. Happy to pick that one up. Right. This next one, I took it out of the package it was in already, just to make it a little quicker. But I still kept it in the cardboard. And this one I also picked up from an Instagram live sale. And see here. There we go. So this one, I don't know. I like to pick up books from like from this era, from these types of runs, if I come across them for a decent price. I mean, these are the types of things, like, just as someone who is a seller, these books often take a little bit to sell. I mean, they tend to sit for a little while, but there is definitely demand out there for them, and I think they're still pretty cool to get. And so this is Teen Comics number 21. There is something key about this issue. I'm sure someone can tell me in the comments. I don't remember exactly what it is. I know there's some key fact about this issue, but these ones are, they have Georgie, they have Patsy Walker, they often have like Hetty in the title. This is from Timely, and you can see it actually says on the top, a Marvel magazine. This one doesn't have that Marvel stamp on it yet. I think it's still a little early for the Marvel stamp. This might be, I think it might be like 1947. But let's take a look. This was a pretty nice copy. Let's see here. I'll do the page counts and stuff later. Oh, 1946. So actually 1946. I don't think you start getting those Marvel little stamps until about like 1949 or so. It looks really nice from the front. The back definitely has like some, I don't know, just kind of like some browning to the cover. And when you look at the interior, there's a little bit of kind of like browning around the edges, but overall, I mean, for 1946, that is a pretty nice looking book. I mean, you got that nice kind of like sheen to it and everything, and staple, it's a, let's see, is it a 2 staple or 1 staple book? Looks like it's a 1 staple, it's a single staple book, so you always want to be careful with that. You don't want to inadvertently, you know, detach it or something like that. There is this crease on the back, so that's really going to be the limiting flaw. Let's see if I can get it to show up. But it basically runs from like here down to here. And so it's light, but that is really going to be the limiting flaw in it. It's kind of like, it's not a subscription crease or anything, but it's kind of like a full length crease along it. But I mean, it could still, maybe get like a 6. I don't know if it could get a 6.5, but I think it would have the possibility. I'd have to take a little closer look at the book, but still a possibility at a 6, which for a book from 1946, you know, 6 and looking, you know, like this nice, it's a solid book. So real happy with that one too. All right, we will, let's see, I'll do one of the CGC boxes first. This is the one that I have already checked the grade on. This was the one that I had the restoration removal done. Normally, I don't check grades on, if you watch my channel, you know, I don't check the grades on books that I send in, but this one, with the restoration removal, I decided to check it. I will say, I mean, they removed the restoration, like that, so they did what they were supposed to. I'm not, like, super pleased with it. There's definitely additional damage to the book where there was no restoration, so I mean, I feel like they didn't really handle it all that well. But I'll talk about that. I wanted to make sure I open it up in case there are any issues with the case, because if you have cracks in the case or anything like that, like a mechanical, you only have, I believe it's like 7 days. It's either 7 or 10 days to reach out to CGC to have them, you know, handle that for free. If it's something wrong with the label, you can do that at a later time as well. But if you want to check for cracks in your cases right away, I can't remember if it's either 7, 10, or 14 days. It's one of those. But case looks good. Yes, I think it does. Double check. Yeah, case looks good. So what this is Captain Battle Comics number 3. It's a pretty, you know, kind of like crazy cover here. You've got this, I'm pretty sure this is Captain Battle here jumping in to try to save the day. You've got this guy here that is trying to like smush this woman in these spikes. You got, I always talk about this, like, I don't know what that is. Like it's a lizard or a dragon, something in the back. But you'll notice this has a pedigree label. And so this is the Rockford pedigree. And so I bought this book raw. It did not come with any documentation, but the Rockford pedigree, one of the things that's known to make it a Rockford pedigree is this little S stamp right there. And so I sent it in saying I thought it was a Rockford pedigree. I did that with another book too, and they said it wasn't the pedigree that I was hoping to get. But with this one, they said yes, it was. And it was so defeating when I got this book back originally because it was restored. it had what they called reinforcement up in this corner and in this corner. So I sent it back into them to have that cut out, which they did. And it was originally a 5.5 restored, so it came back a 4.5. I actually thought I had a shot of getting a 5 or a 5.5 still with that being removed, but there's some new damage to this book, which is one of the really kind of like frustrating things. And so like down here on the back, there's this chip out of the bottom and a split on the bottom of the spine that was not there before. I still think that 4.5 seems, I feel like this is a really nice 4.5. I mean, fully attached. It's got, a couple little pieces out of the cover and a piece down on the bottom, but I mean, this is a nice looking 4.5. Let me take the back too. So, I don't know. I mean, regardless, the main reason I wanted to get that gold label, that was one of the big things. It was so frustrating when I actually got the pedigree and then it was a purple label, so you don't actually get the gold label. But yeah, Captain Battle Comics number 3 was a 5.5. Sent it in, got the restoration removed, came back to 4.5. All right, let's see here. So this next box here, and I'm gonna save the other CGC submission for the end. That's the one that I have not checked the grades yet. So this next one I picked up also from an Instagram claim sale. I picked this one up from Buzzard Brothers. This was 3 books, all raw. One of them much more expensive than the rest. It was basically, one of them is a pretty high grade, at least for what it is, high grade Matt Baker book. And if you kind of watch my channel some, I talk about Matt Baker fairly regularly. He is known as like the good girl art artist from the Golden Age, the romance artist from the Golden Age. And everything Matt Baker has just been going through the roof lately. And so whether that's he did like the Phantom Lady covers, he did 7 Seas 4 through 6, like all that stuff, like just has been going just crazy. And that also includes the romance covers that he did. And so there's a lot of different titles. A lot of them are under, I think, like St. John Publications, but a lot of different romance titles that he did. And so I did pick up one of those from them. Now I'm gonna cut for a second. I just want to make sure I get this thing out safe.
2,000 years later.
Okay, I've got the 3 books out now. This is the first one. I've actually shown, I think, issue 2 from this run a number of times. I believe this is a Feldstein cover. This is Meet Corliss Archer number 1. This is kind of like one of these good girl art type covers. This isn't a high grade or anything. I mean, it's got like water damage and stuff on the cover, but price was right. And this is a tough book to come by. You do not see the books from the Meet Corliss Archer run come up for sale hardly ever. I don't think there's any like on eBay, for example, right now. And that's usually a pretty good way to assess like at least some level of rarity, because eBay is a pretty big platform. You see a lot of books come up for sale there. And if you search for something and don't see the book even on there, that generally means it is relatively difficult to find. And so this is one of those. It's Meet Corliss Archer number 1. Then the next one, this one, they actually contacted me after the sale and gave a reduction in the price for this one because they felt it was a lower grade than what they had said during the sale. So I really appreciated that. So this is All Top number 18. So another one of these, kind of like good girl art type covers. You've got actually kind of like the bad girl art and the good girl art on the cover, and then you've got some like snake, some guy running in to save the day. We call them like the Kool-Aid Man covers, where the guy is like running in from behind the scenes, whether he's running through a door or busting through a window or whatever. But this is a lower grade copy because there's splitting on the top, splitting on the bottom, and it's a detached cover. So they said after they had reviewed it, they said they probably thought it was around a 1.8. And I agreed with what they had shown me, but it's a really solid presenting 1.8. I mean, detached cover, spine splitting, all of that, But yeah, great presenting copy of this book. I've never owned this one either. I haven't owned the Meet Corliss Archer before, and never owned this one. So quite a few books in here that I've never had before. Actually, any of these. I haven't had that World's Finest #2, and I've never had the Teen Comics #21. So that was the next one. Now, the big book that I picked up was this one. This is True Love Pictorial #10. And this is a Matt Baker cover. A lot of times these Matt Baker covers, they basically like tell stories on the cover. You know, a lot of different things going on there. And these books are extremely difficult in grade. I believe the highest graded copy is a 7.5, and it sold for $9,000. So that'll kind of give you an idea. And so this one they had estimated, well, they said that, I think from Metropolis, yeah, so this was originally a Metropolis book, so Comic Connect, and they had it as a 7.5, but they said they didn't think it was a 7.5. They thought it was a 6.5, and so I ended up picking this one up, and I mean, it is, they sent me a bunch of pictures afterwards just to kind of like, wanted to be sure, you know, and so they sent me a bunch of pictures afterwards, and it looks really nice. It is a very solid presenting copy. This is not like chipping on the bottom or anything like that. That is like part of the art. And so there's a couple things on this one that you like at first might throw you off, and it's that the cut on this book is it's shifted a little bit up and it's shifted a little bit this way. And so that's why on this side here it looks like it's like a trimmed piece or something, but it's just that it was cut past the ink. And so that's why there's a little bit of white over there on the edge. But overall, a really nice presenting copy of this book, one that I am absolutely getting graded. This one is definitely getting graded, and I'm going to be real cautious handling it because these books are extremely rare in grade, and there's been a lot of interest around the Matt Baker romance and everything type books lately. So this is a cool one to get. And so True Love Pictorial #10, very nice condition copy of this book. So that leaves us with this final box here. So final box. This is the one that I just got back from CGC. This was the high value submission. Now, I said at the beginning that there was kind of like something interesting that CGC sent me. And so what happened was, I mean, actually this, for kind of like timelines for this, the turnaround time's blazing fast. They got this book, let's see, on the 13th, and I think they finished grading it on the 15th, and I received it on the 17th. So from the time that they opened, you know, they had the book opened in their system to when I got it back, 4 days. I mean, that's pretty crazy. So it actually beat my walkthrough. I have my Phantom Lady 17 there as well, and it beat that book. And so now I didn't check the grades. The one thing I did check is I did check to see if they were restored or not, and they are not. They're both universal. And so the interesting thing that I got was that they had messaged me and they said, the book, one of the books that you submitted does not fit the category that you submitted it under, which surprised me because I submitted them under high value. I mean, I didn't think I was kind of like trying to like slip anything by with these books, which means one of them might be really, if I actually get the grade that I thought it was, I'm gonna be really disappointed because I feel like if that's the case, then they were being pretty petty with bumping the price that I had to pay for grading. So if you're not aware, basically you have the different tiers that you submit your books into CGC. There's modern, then I think it's economy, then it's high value, then it's unlimited. I think those are the 4 they have now. They used to have one called Express, but they removed Express. That was between what is now the high value and unlimited. And so that means that this one was in the high value and they bumped it to the unlimited value. And so hopefully that means I got a pretty nice grade, this book. So let's see here. I don't want to see anything. So I'm gonna set those down. I don't know which one's gonna come out first. Let's see here. Okay, that one I'm gonna wait for that one then. That's the surprise one. This other one here. So what I like to do is I like to, if you haven't watched me do one of these before, I like to bring the book down from the top here, and I don't know the grade, you don't know the grade, and I will So I'll hide the label at the top. And so then, I'll talk a little bit about the book, then I'll say what I thought it was, and we'll reveal the grade. Now this one, Scooby-Doo #1, I picked this up at the local show that I go to, maybe back in like January, something like that, quite a few months ago. It's a pretty nice copy. I thought it was going to be a 5.5. I have a 5.0, and I thought this one looked better than my 5.0. So let's see how we did. All right, 5.5 and white pages. So, okay, happy with that. Spot on with this one. So feel like I did real great on this book. And this Scooby-Doo #1, you can see here, it is the first appearance of Scooby, Shaggy, Fred, Velma, Daphne in comics. And this book is extremely difficult to get even in mid-grade like this. So a high-grade copy, I think the highest grade on Census, I believe, is a 9.4. I don't think there's a 9.6 or a 9.8. And the 9.4, I think, even goes for it's like 20 grand or something like that. And so when you get into grades like this, like a 5.5 is, I don't know, 1,400, 1,500, 1,300, somewhere in that range. And so these are, it's pretty pricey even in this grade. Even in low grades, like just like 1.0, 2.0, it's multiple hundreds of dollars. And so there are not a lot of them. It's a relatively uncommon book, and they're always beat up because these were probably in doctor's offices, dentist's offices, whatever, waiting rooms, and just like sitting around on tables and racks being folded over and just being used all the time. And that's why you'll often see the flaws that you'll see on this book are these horizontal creases, that go like that. And I speculate the reason is that they were sitting in racks like folded over. And so you end up with these horizontal creases on the books. And yeah, so real happy with that one. Exactly the grade I thought it was going to be, 5.5. And white pages is a nice little bonus there. And let me check, make sure. That's the other reason I like to open these relatively quick. Okay, at least off the bat, I don't see anything like any cracks or anything, so that's good. All right, so now the other one. So the other book here. So this is Crime Suspense Stories #17. And this is a pretty crazy Johnny Craig cover. I mean, it's a suicide cover. And so I used to think it was somebody else shooting him. I've talked about this before, but you can see in the mirror in the background, it's himself, And so this one, after I've gone back and I looked at my video where I showed this book, I was like, either I forgot about something on the back cover, or maybe like maybe I was just being too harsh on it, because I was looking at it and I had graded it as a 6.5. And if I graded it as 6.5 and it gets a 6.5, I'm going to be annoyed that they charged me more. Now, the big limiting flaw on this book is, I don't know if it'll show up on here or not. There's like a tear, I think it's like right here. And it's about a 1/2 inch long, something like that. Now, with a 1/2 inch tear, the max grade you can get is about an 8.5. I mean, if I get an 8.5, I'm gonna be like super happy. But I had it as 6.5, so they upcharged me. So anything above a 6.5, I'm gonna be really happy with. If I get a 6.5 or below, I'm gonna be real frustrated. So let's see how we did. Whew, all right, 8.0. That is really nice. Okay, so yeah, that's really nice with this one. I can understand the upcharge, with getting an 8.0 on this book. And honestly, I was saying, like, when they upcharged me, I went back and I rewatched my video where I showed this book, and I had done like a close-up of everything. And I was like, man, Ryan, why did you give this thing, a 6.5? I feel like see if I can find where that tear is. I just hit it way too hard for that tear. It's tough to make out, but it is right. Come up or not. It's like right here. You can kind of see the little bit of it right there, but it runs up like this, and it's about a 1/2 inch. But yeah, the spine looks great. It's got a little bit of a color break up here too, but the spine looks really nice. And you've got a little bit of wear there down near the bottom and at that staple, but the edges were really, really sharp. Corners are really nice. Just a really glossy cover. This is a nice book. And you know, both of these books, the Scooby-Doo and this one, I sent both of them to my presser. It's the Comic Book Presser. I'll put his details in the description of this video because I mean, he does a fantastic job. And so really happy with how this one turned out. I mean, man, that looks nice. Like an 8.0 in this book, that is a tough book. And so I mean, the colors are fantastic on this one. I bought this one raw off of kind of an online store, I guess. I bought this one from an online store. So real happy with how this one turned out. But what was the page quality? Off-white to white pages, so nice pages. You know, it says on the cover there, classic Suicide cover, and Johnny Craig cover and art. But man, that's a nice surprise. Get an 8.0, I can understand the reason for the upcharge, but that was everything. I mean, hopefully I get a similar surprise, you know, like with this one or something. Like I get like a 7.5 and it's like a $9,000 book, but I'm guessing not. But still, you know, real happy with how this book turned out. Cause like, man, awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Saw some cool books. Had a nice positive surprise on that one. Got exactly what I thought I was going to get on the Scooby-Doo #1. If you did enjoy this video, if you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. I've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some of my other videos, and the subscription button right here. If you subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.